Hi, this is Ryan with Automatic Comics, and up next I've got a pretty great unboxing with some gold, silver, and bronze age books I recently picked up on Instagram. Stay tuned. Alright, so before we get started, please remember to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this. If you haven't checked out my top 50 video, I just released that a couple days ago, and it was a lot of fun to make, so I'd recommend going and watching that video if you haven't already. So the first one I'm going to open is this box, because I'm kind of intrigued by it, because I picked this one up during a recent Elite Comics 11 claim sale. So it was Ali, who is kind of the person who runs Elite Comics 11, as well as Bill, who goes by Trader Bill on Instagram. And Bill was selling some of his own books, and Ali was selling books for one of his friends, and then they had a couple other people that were joining on and off. But this one was from Bill, and I only bought one book. This is feels like a heavy package, so he had mentioned he might throw some other stuff in some of these boxes, so I'm curious to see what's in here. So let's get into this box. So if you don't follow Elite Comics 11 on Instagram, I definitely recommend it. They are, I'd say, probably one of the biggest sellers on IG. They're kind of an intermediary, mostly, for other sellers. And Bill definitely threw some extra books in here because the only thing I bought from him was a slab. And so let's go over the extras first. And there's a bunch. I mean, it's all of these books. So a bunch of raw books. So I don't know what any of these are, so we'll kind of see these together. So the first one here looks like Superman and Batman number 28. And so just cool cover. I'll check this book out. Next one is Superman number 712. And next book looks like we're kind of into maybe some like bronze, early copper. We have Wonder Woman number 281, and it says this is I think it's the first appearance of Charlie Bullock. It was a Blackwing, so I'll look up that book. Then we have Flash Rebirth number 1, and another Wonder Woman. We have Wonder Woman number 283. And then the last one here is another Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman number 301. So yeah, that's just a bunch of free books. That's awesome. So thanks, Bill, for adding those in. And then the slab, you saw that was all DC. The slab is also a DC book from the Golden Age, and this is it's an awesome cover. This is Superman number 68. And it's a CGC 4.0. It's from 1951. And this is it's an early Lex Luthor cover. It's a Lex Luthor cover and story. This is Lex Luthor on there, this, creepy scientist looking guy. And but I mean, ever since I saw this cover, I probably saw it for the first time, maybe a year and a half ago, and I'd always wanted to try and get a copy of it, just because it's a really bright cover. I mean, it presents really well, and I would say this book doesn't look like it's been pressed, but I don't know how much it could really improve from it, because you can see, there's definitely, damage around the staples, and you always want to be careful with pressing. Even if it looks like, like down here, you can kind of see that maybe it looks like it hasn't been pressed from the kind of the waviness in that corner. But even if that's the case, you want to be very careful with that kind of book. And you can definitely see the spine roll here. But look at the colors on that back cover too. Just great. But you want to be careful with that, just because if you pop staples, if you detach the cover, you're going to lower your grade quite a bit. So you do always want to be careful with, pressing some of these older books that have taken a lot of damage. You can cause more damage to them. All right, so the next one I'm going to open here. This was the 2 books that I picked up from Ali that he was selling for his friends. So I'll cut into this one. Alright, so Ali also threw in a free book, so that's pretty cool. This is Carnage, Black, White, and Blood, and it has the cover that looks like that Spider-Man 55. So that's a cool add-in, that was not that I didn't know was coming. Now, it's kind of funny, he was talking about these books, so his friend that he was selling them for, he made the comment that it seemed like whoever it was definitely did not take care of their slabs. So they are all scratched up and everything, but I'm fine with that. The way I always treat it is I'm buying the book, with the grade. I'm not buying the the slab. Now, I mean, yeah, it's you kind of want it to present well, but getting something reslabbed if you really want to is not that big a deal. So the first book here is a signed book. This one's pretty cool. This has 3 signatures on it: George Perez, Jim Starlin, and Marv Wolfman. And this is DC Comics Presents number 26, and it's the first appearance of the Teen Titans. And I mean, they aren't really on the cover. You at least get the this little thing up here where at least it mentions them on the cover. But it's a cool book. This is a book that has gotten a lot more popular within the last couple years with the Titans show that came out on the DC Universe and now on HBO Max, I think now. And this one, the big thing with this one also is that you can see here, this is the newsstand. It has the barcode instead of, I don't remember if it's a DC logo with DC or what their different picture is. It's not Spider-Man, but I mean, awesome that it has 3 signatures on it. I mean, that is great. And I will, because this slab, really is beat up pretty bad, I'll definitely take a look at it and see if it's something where, I could send it in to CCS, because you need to retain that continuity with the signatures. You can't just send it to any presser when something's signed and has a yellow label. If you do, you will lose that yellow label if you send it to the wrong person. So I believe there are some pressers that are actually certified to keep the yellow label, but the easiest way is sending it into CGC's pressing service. But I'll take a look at it and see if maybe there's the possibility that it could get any type of grade bump as well, and since I would probably want to get it reslabbed anyway. But yeah, this is a great book, awesome, with triple signed. Now, the next book is also really, this slab is really beat up, but this is a great cover, awesome book. I actually recently sold a lower grade copy of this book. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 40. This is the origin of the Green Goblin. I mean, this cover is incredible. I mean, the Green Goblin, Spider-Man, just the flames. I mean, it looks great, and it's a CBCS 6.5 white pages. I mean, it's a nice book, but I don't know if you can kind of see the kind of like the scratches and scuffs there with the reflection. but yeah, so the slabs are definitely beat up, but the books inside are completely fine. So this is one that I also might consider sending in to get pressed and regraded, just to get it into a new slab, maybe a CGC slab. And I'm always kind of nervous about potentially losing white pages designations, but that's not really that huge of a deal, and the case is really beat up, so it might be worthwhile to do that. This is also this is the second time that John Romita drew Spider-Man in the Spider-Man title. So the first time he drew him was in Daredevil 16. Then the first time in the Spider-Man title was number 39, and then this will be the second time with issue 40. Alright, so I have one more book that I picked up during a recent claim sale, not part of Elite Comics 11. This was from Hiram. I've mentioned him before with some other books that I've picked up, and so I'll get into this one. Now, this book is extremely relevant right now with, if anybody was watching the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show. So if you have, maybe, spoiler alert, you might want to just kind of cut the video here. But this is Captain America number 117. It is the first appearance of the Falcon, and I mean, this book has gotten really, really expensive with the show itself, but because, and this is the spoiler, he is taking the mantle of Captain America. That was, the big reveal in the final episode, and so the future for this book is I think very strong. So that's always one of the questions, when you get to the end of the show, is that character going to keep being relevant, potentially in the future in additional shows, that kind of thing, and definitely with the Falcon, based on how that show ended. Now, I mean, it's a really nice presenting copy, but it's not a high-grade book. This is, I think, a 3.0. Yeah, so he had marked it as a 3.0, because you can see the, let's see here, the spine is really beat up. I think it has rusty staples, I think is what he had said about this one. Yeah, so rusty staples, and, but it is a very solid presenting book. I mean, the colors are great, no creases or anything really on the cover, so just a book that I'm always happy to pick up, especially with the popularity of this character now. So those are the 3 books I picked up, plus the extras that were provided by Elite Comics 11, and super happy with these books. Some awesome books from the Gold, Silver, and Bronze Age. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this, and I will see you in the next video.